In a quiet, dusty village nestled between rolling hills and a dense forest, there lived a poor potter named Akram. His house was a modest mud hut, with a thatched roof that leaked during the rainy season. Akram's life was simple, but hard. Each day, he would mold clay into pots, bowls, and jars, baking them in his kiln and carrying them to the marketplace to sell. Despite his efforts, he earned just enough to buy a little rice and lentils to feed himself and his family. Akram had two children, Samir and Amina, who often went to bed hungry. He would look at their tired, hopeful faces and promise himself that one day he would find a way to give them a better life. But how? His hands, skilled as they were, could only make so many pots, and his customers in the village were few. One evening, after selling only a handful of pots at the market, Akram trudged home with heavy feet and an even heavier heart. On his way back, he decided to take a shortcut through the forest, even though it was known to be eerie after sunset. As he walked under the towering trees, the sounds of chirping crickets and rustling leaves filled the air. Suddenly, Akram's foot struck something hard, and he stumbled. Looking down, he saw a clay pot half buried in the earth. It was unlike any pot he had ever seen, smooth, perfectly shaped, and glowing faintly in the moonlight. Curious, he picked it up and brushed off the dirt. "This is a strange pot," he muttered to himself. "Perhaps I can sell it for a good price at the market." With the pot tucked under his arm, Akram made his way home. Little did he know, this pot was no ordinary vessel. It was magical. At home, Akram placed the pot on the kitchen shelf. That night he cooked a small meal of rice and lentils for his family. As he was about to serve the food, Amina, his youngest, pointed to the pot. "Baba, why don't we use the new pot? It's so pretty." Akram hesitated, then decided to use it. He poured the rice and lentils into the pot, and to his amazement, the food began to multiply. What was once a meager meal for four turned into a feast, enough to fill every bowl and still leave more in the pot. "How is this possible?" Akram whispered, staring at the pot in awe. Samir, wide-eyed, exclaimed, "It must be magic, Baba! This pot can make food!" Excited and grateful, Akram and his family ate their fill for the first time in weeks. That night, Akram dreamt of his children never going hungry again. Over the next few days, Akram discovered more about the pot's powers. Not only did it multiply food, but it could also create other items. One day, Akram placed a small piece of cloth in the pot, and when he looked inside, there were enough clothes to fill a wardrobe. Another time, he put in a single coin, and the pot produced enough money to pay off his debts and buy new materials for his pottery. The pot had transformed Akram's life. He used its magic wisely, sharing food with his neighbors and helping those in need. Soon he became well loved and respected in the village. People marveled at his kindness, not knowing the secret behind his newfound prosperity. News of Akram's generosity spread far and wide. Eventually, it reached the ears of a wealthy merchant named Qasim, who was known for his greed. Qasim decided to visit Akram, pretending to be a kind-hearted man. "Akram," Qasim said, feigning admiration, "your pots are the finest I have ever seen. Tell me, how did you rise from poverty to such success?" Akram, trusting and honest, hesitated, but eventually revealed the secret of the magic clay pot. Qasim's eyes gleamed with greed as he listened. That night, he devised a plan to steal the pot. Under the cover of darkness, Qasim crept into Akram's home and took the pot. "Now the riches shall be mine," he whispered, chuckling to himself as he fled. The next morning, Akram discovered the pot was missing. His heart sank, but he remained calm. "A pot may be stolen, but kindness cannot," he told his family. "We will find a way to manage." Meanwhile, Qasim, eager to test the pot's magic, placed a gold coin inside. As expected, the pot produced more coins. Greedy for even greater wealth, Qasim stuffed the pot with coins, jewels, and other treasures, hoping it would multiply endlessly. But the pot was magical in more ways than one. It did not tolerate greed. As Qasim poured more and more into it, the pot began to shake and glow ominously. Suddenly, it let out a loud boom and vanished into thin air, taking all of Qasim's wealth with it. Terrified and penniless, Qasim realized his greed had cost him everything. Humbled, he returned to Akram and confessed his wrongdoing. Akram forgave him but reminded him of an important lesson. Magic or not, true wealth lies in generosity and gratitude. To everyone's surprise, the pot reappeared in Akram's home, as if it had chosen him for his kind heart. Akram continued to use its magic to help his family and community, ensuring that no one in the village ever went hungry again. The magic clay pot became a symbol of hope and generosity, and Akram became a legend in the village. His story was passed down through generations, teaching children the importance of kindness, humility, and sharing. Kindness is the greatest wealth. Sharing what you have brings true happiness. Greed leads to downfall. Excessive desire for more can ruin even the richest of people. Use blessings wisely. Gifts and talents should be used for the good of all, not just for personal gain.